Whoops. There we go. All right. Hello. All right. I think I got everything set up. Uh, I was just having some troubleshooting. Or I added what's this called? Streamlabs. I added Streamlabs to OBS, so now things are working a little bit differently. And but I just wasn't used to the changes, and now I'm just trying to get things started. And hopefully with Streamlabs. Why is this not showing the events? This back in. Okay, I don't see anything in chat. I don't see anything in events. Hopefully things start popping up, because this should now let me do like super chats, put them on the screen. But we'll see. If I see somebody type anything in the chat, I'm gonna have chat 2 times on the screen just in case my OBS one, the Streamlabs one, isn't working. I hear my mouth. How'd that happen? Anyways, that's a great way to start the stream. All right, so today the plan is for me to do a reaction. I'm going to learn about what is this called again? Take Us North or something like that. What did I write down? Um, Take Us North. Yes, that's what it's called. All right, so I'm going to do a reaction to Take Us North. Here's what I know about it. I deliberately avoided it because I was like, okay, tomorrow I'm doing the stream. I might as well do a reaction to this. So what I know is it was at Gamescom. Uh, Allegedly, it promotes illegal immigration. It's some sort of propaganda game. And after Asmongold uh, highlighted this on his platforms, then or his channels, his YouTube channel and Twitch or whatever else he's on, I guess X. After he brought attention to this, Jeff Keighley pulled, or someone at Gamescom pulled the video, so the original is no longer available. I tried finding the original, can't find it. So instead of me reacting to the original, I'm reacting to Asmongold's reactionception, because of the fact that I just don't see, I just don't see, any other way to watch this. So that's the plan. Plus, I'll answer questions from anyone who asks questions on the chat. I should probably, before I start, let me post on my social media real quick. Even though no one really checks my social media, I should just still make it a habit to post on social media before I start. So let me switch. Wow, that's insane. Okay. Let's see. Let me add the thumbnail image. All right. Live stream. There we go. We're live. Join me on YouTube stream. All right. There we go. All right, so close that out. All right. Move this over here. I still don't see anybody in the chat. So I can't test out to see. I can't test out to see if the new thing works or not. But if people start posting in the chat, that's fine. If no one posts, let me make sure that the audio works. Okay, so no audio is not on. Let me turn that on. If the new thing works or not. But if people start posting in the chat, that's fine. If no one posts, let me make sure that the audio works. Okay, so no audio is not on. Let me turn that on. If the new thing works or not. But if people start posting in the chat, that's fine. If no one posts, let me make sure. Okay, all right. So I can hear. Hey, salam alaikum. Okay, I see you in the chat. Is there a way I can like make that go on screen? No. Okay. How do I get the events show up again? Event. Okay, there's recent events. I can hear you. Not sure about the other audio. Okay, let me turn this on.
About illegally crossing into the USA and processing the trauma from being a minority.
Okay, this phone needs to go on silence. Hour. Hey. Okay, and then maybe I should up the volume a little bit. But it doesn't seem like there's a way for me to show, like, pop up a single chat onto the screen. But once I start seeing the events populate, I'm gonna see if I can show those on the screen. But all right, let's get where we at? Right screen. There we go. All right. Let me raise the camera up a little bit so I'm. Yeah. This is kind of annoying watching a video with the desk so high, but that's I guess gotta do this to get the camera in the right spot. Okay, you can hear me? Great. No, or the audio you can hear. All right. So let's learn about Take Us North. And I'll be pausing occasionally to add commentary, my thoughts. But his is about 30 minutes, so I'm assuming the original video is not.
With real audio
long.
clips from real illegals. I have to see this. I have to see it. I want to watch it. This is content. Wait a minute. Okay, we might have something here. Let's get it.
As my pronouns are she, her, and
shit!
Okay, so I want to apologize for the cursing that's done by Mr. Zach over here. I don't curse on my own channel. And since this is a reaction, I don't know if he's about to start cussing or not. So I agree with him. I agree with him, but I would prefer, without the over the top reaction. I guess you gotta do. I guess that's what you got to do to be on top, is have over the top reactions so that you could get clipped. So maybe I should do that. She, her. She's a she, her. What is wrong with the world? It's 2025. Am I doing it right? All right. Let's maximize the screen. Oh, maybe I should move myself so I'm not on top of his face. All right, let's move it over here. There we go. All right. Yeah, so I'm not on top of his face.
I just got triggered.
Yeah, me too.
Great. So I got a little intro. Thank you. My name's Carla Reyes. My pronouns are she, her. And yeah, I run a little indie studio called Anima Interactive. We're developing Take Us North, which
Take
is
Us
about
North.
migration across the U.S.-Mexico border.
Oh, he moved. So now I gotta move. All right, I'm gonna move myself over here. Look at it. Look at this professional layout. Kotaku about to call you for a quote. Oh, yeah, they are. They are about. Should I make myself bigger? Oh, there we go. All right, there we go. There, I'm gonna make myself just a little. There we go. All right. Yeah, the Kotaku about to quote Sabr Path. All right, let's listen.
Which is obviously a very relevant and heavy-hitting topic.
Yeah.
But that's why we found it important
getting
to
deported.
talk about
No,
now.
you're
And
not
I'll
going
share a
north,
little
you're
bit
going
about
south.
our behind-the-scenes
Yes.
in the development of this project, because it's very deeply rooted in research. Given how sensitive and
Research?
complex and nuanced the subject matter is, we want to make sure that we are telling these stories
Are they going to research the way that illegal migrants steal the identities of American citizens and then claim their benefits illegally? I wonder if they're going to talk about that.
authentically, and that we are,
Oh, geez.
reaching our goal in trying to shift hearts and minds around this. So before I begin, I'm actually curious.
Yeah, this isn't a game, it's
So,
propaganda.
That's
of course.
That's literally what I was about to say. I was about to say, like, shift hearts and minds means propaganda. It means change your opinion, especially on something that is literally illegal. It is illegal to enter a country by sneaking in without going through the proper legal means. So this is literally propaganda. She's admitting it's propaganda for her to say that we're changing hearts and minds. Illegals in my yard, lol. Before I continue, I just want to just not quite a disclaimer, but at the very least, just let it be known that yes, I am an immigrant myself, but I am a legal immigrant. Came in legally. I became a citizen, naturalized through my parents. They had to take the test. Both of them had to take the test, and after they got the test and they passed, they became citizens. Then myself and my older brother, we got citizenship. So yes, we're immigrants, but like that doesn't mean there is not, like, it is illogical to assume that just because someone is an immigrant means that they are pro illegal immigration. Those are two completely different things. Because a lot of people try to make this about nationalism or xenophobia. It's not about that. It's about having a legal process of getting in legally. And anyways, let's get going. I just want to put that out there from the get-go.
Obviously it is.
To ask all of you, because I'm mindful there might not be many Americans in the room. Are there any Americans, by the way? No, okay. Oh, okay, that's good. Okay, so could I ask,
one guy.
What are your perceptions around, like, the motivations behind migration?
Like, this is completely unprofessional. Like, if she has a presentation at a conference, for her to, I mean, like it's one thing to be like, oh, raise a hand, just to like kind of like get the. There's two reasons why people do that. One is so that they can just kind of get people awake and pay attention to the conference or the lecture, because sometimes people's minds doze off, and getting them to interact, not doze off, but like wander off. And when you get them to interact, then they like come back to reality. That's one reason. But the other reason would be to kind of like gauge the room as far as like what's the opinion going on. What if they pass a law to revoke naturalized citizens, making citizens illegal? Um, I, I mean, that's a complex issue. I don't want to say I don't see it happening, but I feel like that would be like a slim chance, like a 10% chance that they would start saying, okay, we're gonna start removing citizenship from people who legally got citizenship, um, for no reason. I Yeah, that's a very complex question.
U.S. Mexico border.
That would just lead to like a very long discussion. I don't know. I just don't. I feel like that would the hypothetical is just very. There's a lot of nuance to it. Anyways, let's get back to this.
Like, what are you hearing in the headlines in the news? I'm just curious. You can shout things out, or yep, go ahead. Trump out. Yes. Okay. Anyone else?
Yeah, I agree.
I just hope that China and Korea can save us from this madness.
Like having this is a games conference, and she's giving a a lecture on her game that's not even out yet, and Trump out. Yeah, it's like, is this what your lecture is about? Like it's clearly a political thing, and not, and she's like so giddy about people agreeing with her. I want to I wish someone would disagree with her only so I could see her reaction. It's not that I'm neither pro Republican or pro Democrat. I think they're both the same wings. They're different wings of the same bird. But for her to like stand there and like be like, yeah, Trump out, yeah. And anyone else want to agree with me? Like, this is not.
Maybe like South America can. Oh my God. There's somebody gotta do this. Like, this is bad.
What do you think is the primary motivation for people from Latin America or otherwise crossing the U.S.-Mexico border?
Who cares?
Violence.
Great. Okay, violence. Yeah.
Yeah,
Anyone
that's
else?
the problem.
Else?
I agree. I used to live in El Salvador some years, and violence is the main.
Yes. Okay. So this is great because I think like in the U.S., one of the narratives that's being pushed is obviously, you've probably heard this. Americans or they'll often say Latin Americans, or they'll be reductive to Mexicans. They will say like they're just stealing our jobs, right? Like
They are. It's a fact. They're stealing the jobs. They're creating more traffic. They overload social systems. They steal people's identities to get government benefits. They steal, obviously, a bunch of other different type of entitlement programs like food stamps, etc. They do jobs for cents on the dollar that should be made for Americans, or they should be improved.
Now he seems to be going on a big rant. Like he's clearly said this more than once, because he has like this whole list memorized. I feel like this is an issue that has a lot of nuance to it. It definitely does. There are definitely issues, like especially with like housing, for example. In my last home, I was in a cheaper apartment, and it was a bad neighborhood. And the majority of the neighbors were Hispanic, and literally would have like 3 families in one apartment, and each apartment had 2 parking spots assigned to the apartment. So when you have 3 families, like 5 people driving, they have 5 cars, they're stealing my parking spot because they don't care. Like they need to park somewhere, so they're gonna steal my parking spot. you know, that's you know, on top of that, they are like, it's like due to the fact that they have like so many people in a 3-bedroom apartment, it's easy for them to rent out the apartment, and then that kind of like drives up the costs because you have like all these people moving into these cheaper or more affordable homes, and it's like, okay, I can't find a more affordable home, and then I end up in a bad neighborhood. So, but I mean, there are issues. The point of me bringing that up is that there are issues that go alongside with this, but he seems like he's said this multiple times, but I'm not here to like listen to his rants.
Moved by automation, massive people. And also, by the way, they just showed up in our fucking country. Why the fuck should we be okay with people showing?
Hey, quit cussing.
Oh,
quit cussing.
people want to come here. Too bad. It's like even the base impulse of this is outrageous. Like the amount of entitlement that these people have is disgusting to me. It is. It's absolutely disgusting. That's what the natives said too. No, yeah, and look what happened to them.
Right, let's
not so good.
Let's keep going.
Part of what we're trying to do is challenge this misinformation, right?
Challenge misinformation.
So
Misinformation.
Let me just quickly show a couple of videos here. So we've done like voice of the people style interviews to ask people about their, understanding about migration across U.S.-Mexico border. So let me see if this
public opinion on why people migrate to the U.S.
Oh, hold on. I want to make sure this audio works.
This is a video game?
Friends. Let me see. Hold on. Let's try this.
Okay, so the thing, even before they get into this, I'm not sure if these are opinions that she got herself, or her team went out and interviewed people, or if they just found this online. That's the first thing that I don't know. Which one is it? Did they find it online, or did they do the research themselves? And secondly, regardless of what the source is as far as like how they got these public opinions, like they went to whatever inner city, this larger, it looks like a larger urban area, probably Los Angeles or something like that, wherever she lives. And usually, like whenever you go to like one of these larger cities, most people, especially those who will share their opinion in public, basically share the same opinion. Like if you go to out in the country, you're gonna get a different opinion from like in the large metropolitan areas, and and also it depends on the sample size. Like, did they just ask the first 10 people? And even then, like, if they asked like 100 people for their opinion, they just curate the answers that they wanted to share. So there's a lot to this.
Quality of life, right? Like
I think it's like most things when it comes to immigration. It's always you're either fleeing something or want to get to something.
Yeah.
So this sounds like they're getting opinions in Europe somewhere. I don't know. I'm not even gonna guess. I will guess. I'll guess just to make somebody mad. Irish. I'm gonna guess that's an Irish accent. Someone get mad at me.
Yeah, duh.
And like I know there's a lot of like violence and like drug problems in and around the border, like with the cartels.
Yeah.
So I'd imagine it's just a lot of fleeing that really for
human trafficking,
safety for their families.
Poor countries, they are not making good money, and it's hope of the people. I mean, from many countries, people are dreaming of living in the United States because they are sending to families money which they are making here. I mean, what we see here, it's like not big money, like $15-20 per hour.
American work there. People would take who are more refugees than anything else, the jobs no one wants. The American dream, pretty much.
Okay, so first I was thinking that they were in Europe because both the people had like Irish accents, but now it's like, okay, there's somewhere in United States metropolitan city, because they like once we got to this lady, I was like, oh, okay. Because this guy, it's like, okay, they can still be in Europe, but then once we got to this lady, she definitely never left the United States all her life.
The American dream, pretty much.
This is what I'm talking about, bro, right here. I've been trying to warn y'all about this. I've been trying to tell y'all about this. This is it. How disingenuous for them to say migration when the debate is about illegal immigration.
Yeah, I agree with that.
It's because they don't believe that it's illegal. That's the reason why. They think it's okay for them to do it. Like they have some kind of like entitlement to come to America. It's outrageous.
More refugees than anything else, the jobs no one wants.
Well, the thing is, like, there is a. I mean, I know I'm getting into morals at this point, but I feel like there's a human responsibility to help others out, but there's also a hierarchy, as to like how we help others out. First we have to make sure ourselves, like myself as an individual, I have to make sure that I'm doing the best I can be so I can help others. I can't pour into somebody else's glass if my glass is empty. You know, I gotta make sure I'm fit, I stay healthy, I'm alert, my mind is sharp, I have good finances, etc. Then next is family, relatives, my neighbors, like those who are closest to me, close friends. I help them out. I have to be able to help them when they need help. Beyond that, community. Whatever community I'm in, whether it's my neighbors, my religious center, etc., just the local area. It's better for us to strengthen the area than to like. Basically, you. Well, that was not a good hand gesture. But anyways, you start in the center and you go out. And then beyond that, you help those beyond community, and of course there's like a sense of tribalism with people, such as like, okay, I came from this area, I want to send some money back to family, and and etc., to help them out, which that's understandable. Like a person leaves their tribe to better their life, and then they want to make sure that they remember where they came from, their origins, their roots, and they send some money back. That's completely understandable. You don't want to like just completely detach yourself from where you came from. Hey, howdy, Saravan Balahi. We're reacting to this video here, which is apparently illegal migrant propaganda.
The American dream, pretty much. So coming from where my parents, ancestors are immigrants, but this time, I think from back then, it's completely different. Mm-hmm. People come in to better their lives and better their family lives, more opportunities, better living.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was in New York City, where I guess people have a sense of, some of the motivations behind migration.
By the way, New York City, so if you have a map of the U.S.
Yes.
New York City's all the way up here.
Yes,
and the border's all the way down here. So if you ever hear a New Yorker talking about how good illegal immigration is, just keep in mind that unless the people get bussed up to New York.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I was like, where's he going with this? Because they're getting bussed up there right now. They've been, what the past 2 years or so, they've been getting bussed up there.
a lot of times they don't even have to deal with it because they're on the completely other side of the border. It's delusional. Yeah, they have like, it's insane. Yep.
All right, let me fast forward. Okay, he's going to go back to it. Okay.
Let me just see.
Martha's Vineyard?
Is
Yeah,
it
definitely.
possible to raise the volume a bit, by the way? I don't know, sorry
Jesus.
to the AV team. Could people hear that okay? Or, oh yeah, it was fine? Okay, cool.
Okay.
All right, let me see if I can go back here.
Okay, so do we get to watch the game?
Public
Apologies.
knowledge.
Do we get? I don't care
That's the
about like
same
this.
thing.
This is
That's
The
the same
goal
thing.
with Take Us North is really to
Whoa, he skipped a big portion. How long? Okay, so this is just looks like an 8-minute video.
try to humanize migrant stories and capture some of the complexity and nuance. So yeah, as I
Just
said,
propaganda.
it's a narrative-driven game
Straight up
inspired by
propaganda.
real-world stories. So we're conducting extensive interviews with
Take Us North plays the role of migrant. Players assume the role of a migrant guy who embodies the complex interplay of duty and empathy.
So a human smuggler, a migrant guide.
I wonder if he sexually traffics the women that he's helping move over the border. They probably won't do that, will they? No, because it might make what they're saying look bad, even though that's exactly what happens. I wonder if you're able to molest the women that you
Okay,
help come across. It's because it's not about telling an accurate story. It's about telling a lie.
with migrants and asylum seekers, and I'll dig into our approach to that in a bit. But basically, in the game, you play the role
Kids
of a
also,
migrant
of course.
guide or a guia, often known as coyotes. Coyotes are often associated with the drug trade. You know, people meant carteles before, but it's more complicated than that, and
It is more complicated. It's worse.
that's why we want to you know.
So I feel like I'm listening to like two completely extremes. I mean, she's trying to like soften it up, and he sounds like he's taking it all the way to, you know, just talking about the worst of the worst. And there's just a lot of nuance to the situation. Like there's this channel I used to watch them, but they just kept on releasing these really long videos every single day. And I'm like, I don't have time for you guys. You guys have like a really long video every single day. They called the Texas Boys. Are they sharing life and truth? Yeah.
Who is?
Okay, yeah, these guys. So the Texas Boys. So yeah, I really like these guys. They they share their opinion on certain things, and they don't. I feel like they don't. They try to be as unbiased as possible, as far as like trying to be critical thinkers of situations. And like this guy, he used to I think he lived in New York, and then like he was like, this place is crazy, and then he went to Texas, and then basically started living off the grid, like on his own land, and wanted to basically break away from the system and raise his family there. And one of the videos I was watching with him, he referenced another video in which this border patrol officer in Texas, like he was like showing where the where Mexicans will like sneak in and out, and they do it like every single day. Like some people literally just come in, go to a job, and then come back out, go back to Mexico like that same day. And like the police officer showing like, okay, this rock over here means that that they put that there as a sign to say this is okay to walk over here. And he's like, but I'm not gonna move it, because if I move it, then they're gonna know that someone came here, and then they're gonna stop going back and forth here, and I can't catch anybody. But I mean, the point of me bringing that up, the video that these guys were referencing, is that the officer was explaining that it's not like a black and white situation where it's like everybody is good coming in, or just want to work a job, or everybody are like criminals and just smuggling in and out women and stuff like that. It's not like a black and white situation, and there's a lot of nuance as far as like trying to get the funding for the border patrols, and like what are they gonna do about it, and on top of all that, like even if you start deporting everybody, which like in Texas they're probably not going to deport everybody, because the fact that it's going to be a huge hit to the economy. Like here in Texas, you go to any restaurant, you look in the back room, and it's gonna be full of a bunch of Mexicans who are being paid under the table, and then on top of that, like you have like the landscaping businesses, they're all Hispanics, etc. So it's gonna be like a huge hit to the economy, to the larger metropolitan cities such as Houston, Dallas, Austin, etc. So they're not going to just start clearing everybody out. There's a lot, just a lot of nuance about when it comes to this. But anyways, let me get back to this video. Hello.
Show this game because we believe in video games as one of the most immersive art forms and as a tool to foster empathy and awareness of
It's not empathy at all. You want to come to another country and experience its resources and then take advantage of it while not respecting that country's borders. You want to go into the country illegally against their consent. You know that you're not supposed to be here. You're going here anyway. You want to talk about empathy? I think that should start at the beginning whenever you come somewhere where you know you're not supposed to be. Why y'all put up with these retards?
Yeah, I agree with him with the solution to this problem is not easy because of the fact that like for example, deporting an entire family regardless as to whether the kids are born here or not, just to keep the family together. Like there's no easy solution. There's like basically it's like you're playing one of those games that give you different options, and no matter what, all the options lead to a bad result. Like the Kobayashi Maru with Star Trek, the test that tests to see how a captain will react in a losing situation. To solve this problem, every result is going to be a bad result because of the fact that it started off with the problem being people coming in illegally. So there is no easy solution. It's like, okay, we'll give them citizenship. Well, what about all the people who are still lined up to get citizenship, who have been here legally and they've been here for like 10 plus years and they're still waiting for their citizenship? That's completely unfair to those people who came here legally and they're still waiting to get citizenship. And then you give citizenship to all these people who came in illegally. Like, that's completely unfair. That is not a good solution at all. But yeah, I agree with him that the problem is that they came in illegally, and that leads to no good solutions. Let's get
is almost over. It is coming to a close, and I am so fucking glad.
Hey, quit cussing. Don't cuss on my stream.
It's almost done.
Topics. Okay, so we watch those videos. Yes.
Narrative vision, real world stories and hardship. We're collaborating with Undocumented Filmmakers Collective.
What? Undocumented Filmmakers Collective? What? Who is that? What? Okay.
Oh my God.
And then there's UCLA.
Yeah,
I'm assuming she's like
the project
LA
is
or
really
something.
rooted in research, as I said. So We are collaborating closely with anthropologists. There's a lab at the University of California, Los Angeles, that's run by a professor called Jason.
So they're working with a university in California for this. I would have never expected such a dramatic change of events. Wow. Can you believe that?
Come on, get back to the video.
Who would have thought? Yeah.
Who would have thought?
In what world?
Okay, all right.
I know that public speculative and letting
he's going on. Wait, did she even say anything? No, she didn't even move. Okay,
and Sorter, he put on who.
You can't make, yeah, bro. This is poetic.
De Leon, who has done extensive research both in Latin America and along the border. He published a book last year called Soldiers and Kings, which is all about smuggling across the U.S.-Mexico border. And
Soldiers and Kings, and it's about smuggling. All right. Like, she's referencing a book called Soldiers and Kings, which I'd assume... Here, like, I mean, they say don't judge a book by the cover, but the title is literally called Soldiers and Kings. It's about smuggling across the border. So they're saying, like, the people who are smuggling in are, like, doing it's bringing a good light on them. Like, oh, these are kings, these are soldiers. They're doing God's work, smuggling in. Like, you're doing something dangerous that can. I mean, like, people. Literally, I mean, I need to watch my language. This is YouTube. People don't make it through these these smuggle sessions, on these journeys. They don't always make it. It's a huge risk. It's not safe. And then even once they get to the other side, it's like then you're living life as a second-class citizen because you have to get paid under the table. Make sure that make sure that you don't do anything to get caught. This is the reason why, like, in Houston, people drive so slow, because I mean, like, every time I pass somebody who is extremely slow, like driving really slow, I'm like, what's your problem? And I see it's like, a Mexican dude. It's like, okay, I finally put it together. The reason why these people drive so slow is because they're illegal and they don't want to speed. So they are driving extremely slow and therefore, clogging up traffic. And this is the life that you're living because of the fact that you're illegal. And then you have the people who are illegal, and then they don't care, and then they cause more crimes. But you basically have your second class citizen who's trying to work hard and stay here, and then you have your a hooligan who is like bringing crime in. But what basically what Asmongold is talking about.
We've been working with his team, and there's also a collective of...
Anybody who's doing any smuggling across the border illegally isn't a soldier, and they're certainly not a king. They're criminals that often sexually abuse the people that they're doing things with, and also manipulate them, sometimes kill them, and traffic over drug. People that do that
who are
awful.
Filmmakers in the U.S. So these are people who are artists and storytellers in their own right, but they actually also have experience of having crossed the border.
I love the way that she's like just trying to prop them up. They're artists and storytellers. These are. It's like, come on, okay, be real. If you want to shed light on the situation, have like a candid take and tell these stories, I can understand that you want to tell a story, but this is 100% propaganda with the wording that she's saying.
So here you can kind of just see side by side a lot of the.
Oh my God, this is amazing. Wow.
She got these two images flipped wrong. What? No, which one's flipped wrong? So this is game real life game, game real life, game real life. So this one. She got she put them in the wrong order. Inconsistency. F.
This is no game. No, it's not. Holy shit. This is ridiculous. I know. Can you believe this?
The context that we're trying
Wow.
to portray in the
That causes too
game.
much.
So, of course, the U.S.-Mexico border, and it's primarily set in the
Yeah.
Sonoran Desert, which is one of the deadliest migrant trails. And there are deterrence policies that Border Patrol has where they'll essentially like weaponize nature, and they're trying to keep
Thank God. Thank
Weaponized
God.
nature.
Be lucky it's not worse. That's some alligator.
So what's that, like trying to get them to like get trapped in a certain area so that they can starve to death or something like that? Weaponized nature? I don't understand.
Or
that.
Alcatraz shit. That's the way it should be.
migrants in the desert for as long as possible, suffering from extreme heat, extreme
Oof.
cold.
Yeah, the migrants just spawned there. They chose to go there. You decided to do this.
Walking days across the desert, and unfortunately, thousands of migrants have died or gone missing on these trails.
Then
And
they shouldn't have gone on the trail. They shouldn't have done it.
Stop
Yeah, they shouldn't
interrupting
have
her.
done it. Maybe if you don't.
All right. Whoop, go back. There we go.
I've gone myself and walked along the trails and done
Oh, so you snuck in
on the
illegally?
ground work with humanitarian groups, and we'll talk about that. But there are also other aspects of the trail which I'll dig into.
Oh my God.
And yeah, just some examples of the team going to visit the lab at UCLA.
Survival and hope in the world of human smuggling. What a bunch of fucking bullshit. This is the problem that I think these people have, is that
Oh, that's the Soldiers and Kings. That's just mind-boggling. Like the subtitle, "Survival and Hope in the World of Human Smuggling." Wow, like that confirms what I was saying. Like it's clearly a propaganda book to try to make it look like they are. Like, I look. I understand being a refugee. Like people need to escape their countries. Yeah, I can have empathy for people who wants to leave their country and go to a better one. But to paint human smuggling as a good thing, like doing something illegal, it's just straight up propaganda, and that's what she's doing. Like she's literally making a propaganda game.
they're like, this is, you really think human trafficking?
let's
Or
skip-
left in
There we go.
where we could see artifacts that were left in the desert by migrants.
see the
and
video
then
game
on a
yet?
recent trip that I
Wait, video
did
games?
on the border,
What do you mean
I
about
actually
video games?
found artifacts that migrants had left behind. So they're still doing this to this day.
Artifacts? Which she's acting like she's finding like a...
Well, the artifacts is likely what I was mentioning earlier with the border patrol officer talking about how, like, okay, this stone is placed here specifically to kind of like be like a waypoint marker for to make sure that they're still on track and stuff like that.
a Native American Indian, like, fucking arrowhead.
Well,
U.S. because making this journey, even despite everything that's happening in the U.S., because there's a lot of misinformation on both sides, actually, right? Like
Can of Pringles?
Latin Americans and immigrants from around the world are
first of all, I hate when someone says misinformation, because, like, okay, just say lies. If someone's lying, say you are lying. Hey, you're spreading misinformation there. No, you are lying. Quit lying. Or if they're saying, if it's on accident, be like, you don't know what you're talking about. misinformation. She's the one spreading misinformation. Misinformation on both sides.
Being sold this concept of the American dream and that
But
you can cross the border in this
propagandizing.
way, and it's very complex. And one of the things too that I think is not captured very well is that migrants from all over the world are actually traveling to Latin America in an attempt to make the journey to the US. So
That's what Donald Trump has been saying. Yeah. Yeah, that's the problem. Exactly. That's the issue.
I believe I saw something that it was like a few years ago about people going to Canada to sneak in from Canada.
It's a little bit of a self-report, don't you think?
you see people from Southeast Asia, from Africa. It's not just Mexicans and it's not just Latin Americans, right? And I think this is something that also not that many people are aware of.
Everybody knows that.
What?
And in the game, we try to do this environmental storytelling that's based on...
So let me get this straight. Your idea of environmental storytelling is putting 2 bottles of water?
See, well, first of all, environmental storytelling is a thing in video games. This is something I was taught when I was at Treyarch. I was getting a lot of feedback from the level designers as far as like trying to learn level design. And like one of the level designers was telling me about how he has like creative liberties to do some environmental storytelling in the levels that he makes, like, you know, put like a blood smear on this wall with like a handprint to, you know, make it seem like someone was trying to like, you know, trying to continue moving before they died, etc. And you know, environmental storytelling is definitely a thing in game design, but for her to try to make this be like, okay, here is you know, these artifacts for the smugglers, this just looks like litter. This literally just looks like, okay, you're playing the game. I think most people would look at this and be like, that's just litter. That's not storytelling. That's just litter. That's it.
Next to some rocks. This is environmental storytelling.
A lot of the research. So one example is migrants will actually carry these black water bottles because they believe that they're less conspicuous to U.S. Border Patrol.
Less conspicuous than the clear ones? Well, also, like, if that is her storytelling, be like, okay, this is the reason why we have the black bottles, because they're less conspicuous, which me looking at this before she said that would not be the first thing that comes to my mind. So if they want to convey that information, they would have to have, you know, character X say, oh, we have these black water bottles because it's less conspicuous. And then at that point, that is no longer environmental storytelling. That is like, that's the opposite. That is narrative through dialogue. That is explaining through exposition. That is the opposite of environmental storytelling.
There's this like saying where they'll say it's better to be hot than caught in that.
Just his brain. Hey, calm down there.
Like drinking, like having these black water bottles actually makes the water almost undrinkable because it's unbearably hot, right? It insulates the heat. But, you know, this is a very clandestine world, and something that we are trying to do through the game is shine a light on people and humans that are often cast in.
You know, the thing, like she's talking about the heat, and you know, you have these random bottles that are they even BPA free? Like, is this looks like a bottle that's used for like engine fluid, and you know, at that point, you know, they're walking through the desert with the heat. The microplastics are mixing in with the water. You got yourself some toxic water that you're drinking.
In the shadows, right? They're fleeing persecution and violence, and they're living a life in hiding from the moment.
That's crazy. Wow, that sucks. Too bad. Not our problem.
flee their homes because it's often the
Why don't you
cartel.
stay there and make it?
I mean I disagree with him. Not our problem. It is a problem. Like it is our problem. Like if here's the thing. Like let's say someone's trying to break into my house. They get into my house. Regardless of what, like, if the guy collapses at the front door, that's my problem at that point. I had to do something about, like the guy just has a heart attack as he breaks into my home. He's at the entrance or in the middle of the living room. He's collapsed. Oh, not my problem. No, it is my problem. I gotta do something about it. I mean, I'm not happy about it. I'm not happy about the fact that someone broke in. And someone's having a heart attack on my, in my own home, but it's still my problem. It's my home.
Better.
That are going after them, and
Yeah.
I'll kind of talk about that. But and then they have to face Mexican border patrol and border patrol within Central America as well, where
Good.
the U.S. has been training border patrol agencies in other countries as well. So it's a very complex, system and route, and it's not just happening at the border itself, but it starts all the way in South America.
Okay, like so far she barely talked about the game. Like the only thing she talked about, so she talked about this environmental storytelling, and then a little earlier she showed that at this point she showed that we have screenshots that look like these pictures, these photos.
You can see an example of like a rescue beacon here. So this is real. The image at the top is in the
Self-report red button.
desert, and
So, like the only thing that this lecture of hers has nothing to do with like game design, nothing to do with game development. It is just it's barely even a marketing tool for her own game. It's not even like she's advertising the game and making it sound good. She's spending the entire time talking about illegal smuggling and trying to what's the correct word? The opposite of demonize. Trying to like soften it up, make it glorify. She's glorifying it. She's glorifying illegal smuggling. And then very loosely saying, all right, look at the game. Here's a screenshot from the game that looks just like real life. And that's basically it.
you can see they have this illustration of like an emaciated, desperate migrant, which is just very sad and kind of repulsive to me, truthfully.
Yeah, it is.
Well, it should be repulsive. I mean, the fact that it's like they're putting their life on the line. It's a, like as I said earlier, people don't make it, whether they get caught, whether they they dehydration, starvation, whatever, like the elements, the betrayal from somebody within the group, whatever the reason, like people don't make it. Like of course it's they'd have something repulsive because it's not like it's not a welcome to pure Michigan sign when you're driving through cross country.
Try to come in our country illegally. This is the way that they try to weaponize your empathy against you so they can take advantage of you. Is that they say, well, we have to cross the desert. Well, no, you don't have to, because you should.
I mean, I'm not agreeing with what he's saying as far as like disconnecting empathy. I feel like once we disconnect empathy, then that we're no longer. Empathy is what helps us stay human. It's just not a situation in which we should promote this this path. It's just it's not safe. And it just messes up with the system altogether. So whoa, great spot to. Hey, are you doing all right? You need help?
Even be here in the first place. No, you shouldn't be coming here. You shouldn't be going in this direction. You shouldn't be trying to come into a country illegally. This is ridiculous. Not emaciated enough. I mean, she said like tons of people died doing it. I mean, I bet they did. Yeah.
But you know,
start?
you know,
Okay.
it's Border Patrol kind of saying like, we'll rescue you if you need help. So they know that, you know, the migrants are in dire straits in these situations.
And you can see how also in this entire story, not once there's that happens
So we've now.
to. It's propaganda.
I agree.
So we've been collaborating closely with a shelter, and well, a couple of shelters now in Mexico.
Again, what's this got to do with the game development? What's this got to do with the game? Like this. This is not a lecture for a games conference. This is a lecture for some sort of a, you know, like whether I'm going to be very generous. Let's say some sort of a humanitarian conference or whatever. And this, if you want to present this type of lecture, be like, okay, here is an issue we're having with humans going through these sort of means to get here. You know, that then I can understand that type of lecture, but this has nothing to do with games.
Specifically in Nogales, which is on the border between Arizona and Mexico, which is where the Sonoran Desert is. And I've been going down there and also like on a bi-weekly basis, conducting phone and video interviews with asylum seekers and people who have, you know, had to flee their...
Here's the thing, like asylum seeking, like why are asylum seekers being smuggled in? Because asylum seeking is a legal process. I mean, I'm not an asylum seeker. I never went through that process. I didn't look into what the process is, but asylum seekers are legal. They don't need to be smuggled in. So why is she mixing in asylum? I feel like she's confusing the audience.
Homes because they've either been threatened by cartels in some way. They have not wanted to get recruited, especially in the case of young men, where young men are, you know, it's either they join the carteles or they risk dying, right? And so their only option is to flee. And that these are some of the stories that we're trying to weave into the narrative of the game.
Who the fuck cares? Like, who the fuck cares? Like, who cares? Like, what does this have to do with anything in the U.S.? Like, how is this our problem?
I mean, to defend her down there, yeah. I mean, I'm not trying to defend her, but like the point. This is her game is supposed to be, you know, sharing a story. The best stories are usually human experiences, those that we can, like, you know, put ourselves into the shoes of others, something that we can imagine. And the point is to share a human experience. So, yeah, she's saying this is a problem, and then he says, who cares? This isn't my problem. Well, that's not the point of sharing a story. The problem though is the fact that she's trying to make this sound glorified as if it's a good thing. That's the problem. But the way how he's responding to her saying we're sharing the story, like just going off of that alone, just her saying we're sharing the story, that's why people care, because it's a human experience. People care about, like, it's important to hear about the hardships of others because it gives us an understanding of how the world works. Gives us a perspective on things. We can try to help others. We could try to prevent problems from happening. Prevent the problems of other cultures happening in our culture. That's why a lot of non-Western cultures are saying, keep your Western nonsense away from us. We don't want it, because they see how crazy things are getting with our culture and they don't want it over there. This is why it's important to share experiences. Now, again, I don't agree with her. She's given. Why is my I guess my mouse doesn't show on screen. Okay, yeah, I guess my mouse. Okay, so I'm gonna point. My mouse doesn't show on screen. I don't agree with her, but his reaction is like, who cares? His reaction of who cares? Well, it's not our problem. It's about sharing an experience so that people can understand. Though she is, making it into propaganda and glorifying it.
It's insane, bro. Like, yeah, we got to play this. We probably should.
From a game design standpoint, we really want this experience to be, again, like, sensitive. We're not trying to glorify or glamorize this experience, but we want people to feel it.
I mean, it definitely sounds like she's glorifying or glamorizing it, like Soldiers and Kings.
And we want to treat it with respect. So we're trying to balance these moments of tension.
I just realized, look at this. So you have to walk around the spotlight and you can see the two people that are avoiding border patrol. Like you see what's going on here? Oh my God.
Right, and having to evade border patrol.
He plays border patrol?
With some
I got a feeling you're not going to be able to.
Not make it trauma porn either, right? I think this is something that because they're human stories at the end of the day. Humans have a spectrum of emotion, and so there is, humor and deep emotion, love, etc., more positive emotions. And we also want people to reflect on the universality of migration. So even though this is like on the nose in the sense that we are portraying migration across the U.S.-Mexico border, and it's a real-world topic, this is something that's obviously very relevant here in Germany, in Europe, and around the globe. And
So there's like a lot that she just said that I agree with and disagree with. There are like, human experiences and emotions. Like there's a wide spectrum, but for it to be like, oh, we're gonna have some humor in this. Like sometimes humor does not fit into something that's supposed to be a more serious, something that you're trying to portray more seriously. Humor can completely derail the message. Was that game called? It's like there's a World War II game. Let me see if I can find it. Not World War II, World War I game. It was a Ubisoft game. Ubisoft The Great War game. What was it called? Valiant Hearts. Let's put this on screen. Let me move that back over here. So yeah, Valiant Hearts, this game. So this was a very serious toned game, and it had like, get out of my face! Don't ask me for money. No. Okay. Anyways, so yeah, well, I got nominated for a bunch of things. Anyways, so let me see if I can find screenshots real quick, or I guess go to this page. Oh, 375. Anyways, there we go. All right. So yeah, as you can see, it's like it's a 2D game. It's kind of like an adventure game. You kind of the dog needs this thing full of water, so you go get that, fill it with water, and give it back to the dog. Like it's just like kind of like a point and click adventure game, but you control the characters. It had a very serious story. Like it's World War One, so of course it's not a bright and shiny story. But the problem with this game is that it had certain scenes or certain segments that pushed way too hard into the humor. Like there's some boss fights where you're like in a car and you got like avoid this big tank, like not a tank, but it's like this big mechanical thing, and they're throwing grenades. You gotta dodge the grenades and you throw it back, and the whole time there's like the chan music, dun, 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 and it's like completely derails the whole mood of the game. A whole lot of hola. Thank you, Wrangler. But anyways, so I mean that's just I was just trying to bring up the point that having humor is not yeah, we have a range of emotions, but it needs to be it needs to fit the tone, and it needs to be appropriate for the context. But like what else did she say here? Let me rewind a little bit.
At the end of the day, humans have a spectrum of emotion,
Yeah.
and so there is, humor and deep emotion, love, etc., more positive emotions. And we also want people to reflect on the universality of migration. So even though this is like on the
So yeah, I mean, this is definitely a migration is something, or at least let's make it even more relatable. Leaving your home, like leaving the nest and going somewhere else where you are no longer none of your relatives, none of your family members or friends. Like even if you like move from in the United States, like you move from one state to another, or even from one city to another. You move from one city to another. Like that is an emotion of like, or that is a experience that a lot of people can relate to, and for a lot of people it's a very tough experience because you're now disconnecting from the people that you're with, and you're now with an unfamiliar foreign place. Even if you're still speaking the same language, it's one city to another, it's still a rough experience, and that is something that is like a universal experience. But when you're making the story specifically about human smuggling into the United States, from the Mexico border to the United States, like that is not a universal story. You're making it too specific at that point. You're stripping away, or you're not even stripping. You're not focusing on the universal theme, and instead focusing on this very hyper specific experience.
the nose in the sense that we are portraying migration across the U.S.-Mexico border, and it's a real-world topic.
Yeah.
This is something that's obviously very relevant here in Germany, in Europe, and around the globe. And
yeah, it's a big problem over there too. It's crazy how this what the fuck is going on with these Western countries, man?
Whoa,
this
cussing.
we want people to be thinking about
it's real bad.
I've also
this. That's Spanish. Can't even read that.
also been meeting with some artists.
So they're this is a tribute to this person who I'm assuming didn't make it through her journey here.
That work along the border. There's an artist called Alvaro Anciso. So he was a migrant from Colombia himself, and now he goes every week into the desert and creates these shrines to pay tribute to migrants that have lost their lives, where they'll find remains, either bones or full cadavers, and they'll work with forensic groups to identify them. So that's something that we try to capture in the game as well.
Here's the game.
The Beast. The Beast is a freight train that runs through Mexico, where thousands of migrants ride on top of this speeding train.
This looks horrible. I mean, they're going for this whole like low poly um art styles. I mean, the main reason many people go for this art style is because it's cohesive. It's simple to use. Usually it looks good, despite if you have no artistic skills, you can still make your game look good using low poly. It usually runs pretty well. It's not going to lead to tech debt. But the problem that I see, I mean, first of all, this looks too comical. Like this guy's not even moving, nothing. Like he's not swaying. The wind's not pushing him back. The train's not rocking him up and down. He's just kind of like sitting there stationary, and this guy's just moving around as if like she's trying to talk about how this is a high-speed train, and they're just chilling on here. This looks comical. It completely ruins the whole mood. Let's see, that destroys the immersion and just reminds us of current day issues which we typically want to forget while button mashing. Yeah, exactly. Like this doesn't like if you're trying to go for like this is a bad situation, like this is not a good art style to use, and they clearly don't have the skill. I'm not saying I'm great either. Like that's my first game that I released, Nexus Defenders, uses low poly because for the exact reasons I mentioned. I mean, I'm not very skilled as far as, or at least I'm improving. I'm trying to get better. But the point is, like this team clearly is in over their heads and trying to make something that they're trying to shake the world with, and they somehow got onto Gamescom and showed the world their game. But this War of Mine. So what I'm trying to show, this War of Mine, like this game is, it depicts a rough world. A grim. This is not a beautiful world. This is not supposed to be happy. Like there's a lot of like pencil scratch textures to make it just look even more rough. But you could tell that they're really skilled with the art. Because the fact, I mean, first of all, the texture, the pencil textures, these different textures that they added, the different lighting, like you have a wide range of, you have your light tones, your dark tone, very extremely dark tones to make separation between the different rooms. Like the lighting's great. Like this is made by skilled artists, and this depicts the right mood, the right tone. For their game. This looks like Clown World. Let's get back to her.
Well, it's not quite speeding, but even so, it's an incredibly perilous train, and
she had to correct herself. She's like, well, it's not quite speeding, because she realized as she's talking and saying the words, she realized that no one's gonna believe what she just said.
It's very common for migrants to lose their limbs trying to, get on and off of this train or being on board it. But this is
like no one has any idle animations. This guy is literally stuck in his crouching animation. This guy's not swaying or anything. There's zero idle animation. I mean, plus the fact that this train has zero texture, so that also makes it look. Like it disconnects the brain as far as, is this something slippery? Is it hard for them to step on? Like it's hard for the brain to process with the lack of information. The brain has to think about what does this texture feel like for someone to stand on.
One way to...
This is what I find is so weird, is that these people view every negative consequence from their own actions to be somebody else's fault. It's like all of these bad things are happening to you, but somehow it's somebody else's fault that it's happening.
Travel across Mexico.
I agree with him, but at the same time, like I said, you gotta have a little bit of empathy because it's like, okay, somebody chose this path because the other, staying where they're at is also rough. But despite me saying that, okay, you could have a little bit of empathy for that person, doesn't mean what the person's doing should be glorified, because they're still doing something illegal.
And it's something that we're capturing in the game as well. The Darien Gap is another very deadly migrant.
Wow, this looks. I don't even know. Like, it's just unimpressive. This is
Trail, which is between Colombia and
at least the water is moving. I'll give them that. At least the water. Why is my man? I'm annoyed that my cursor is not showing. Maybe if I go here, I'm gonna go to settings. Nope. Settings. All right. Can I get my cursor to show? Appearance? No. Oh, let me try this. Go to that. Properties. Capture cursor. There we go. There's my cursor. All right. What was I pointing at? Oh, yeah. The water. At least the water looks good. I mean, not looks good. That's not what I was saying. At least the water's moving.
You can see the Border Patrol agents that are T-posed around the water, I guess ready to arrest somebody.
Whoa, they are T-posed. This dude's T-posed too.
After they get out of the water. Oh my God.
And migrants will.
Wow, all these people are T-posed. I didn't even
have
realize
to trek
that. Yeah, all of them are T-posed.
Through rivers and jungle.
Like, this is not even. You are not in a state to show off your game.
Yeah. And this is a very early prototype, by the way, but
early prototype. People.
So you get a sense of the visuals. These are other parts of the migrant trail that we are.
They could have at least set, if they wanted to show this, they could have at least added, set the models to be in the standing pose, or just not even have the people there.
Tackling to show again like the breadth of this story. It doesn't just start in Mexico. So as I mentioned, I've been working with some humanitarian
Humane borders. Oh God. Okay, I'll go ahead towards the end. Why this matters more than now.
Okay.
We've been collaborating with, and she's saying that she was talking about January 20th, the pain that the migrants felt because everybody received a notification that their asylum appointments. So they were.
This is right. So Biden had an app for all of the illegal aliens who should have never fucking been here, and asylum seekers who also should have never fucking been here.
Hey, what did I just tell you?
Trump on the first day of the app reprogrammed the app, canceled everybody's appointments, and then changed the app into a self-deportation app.
Many of them had spent months, even years in hiding and in constant movement and migration, hoping for a chance to find refuge in the States. And now there is no asylum.
Finding refuge. I wonder if somebody tried to find refuge in your house, would you be okay with that? Probably not, right? And so it's always, these people always like writing checks
at my house and make it into my house. It becomes my problem, though. Like, I gotta do something about it, whether I have to get them out. If they end up collapsing in my home, I had to do something about it. Like,
somebody else has to pay for.
And so this didn't just impact, immigrants in Mexico, but obviously on a global scale, there's been so much happening, and therefore, we need support, and we want to be able to support all of the different groups, both grassroots nonprofits, large-scale NGOs that are doing the work to try to ameliorate.
If this is her call to action, then again, this has nothing to do with her game, because the call to action has to do with these organizations and groups. The call to action had nothing to do with their game.
These
Like the end product is not, the funnel is not to get people to play the game and learn about these experiences and the stories that she wants to tell. The funnel is to get people to the political opinion she wants people to have. So therefore, she's admitting this is propaganda again, because she admitted it was propaganda from the get-go.
conditions and try to
These NGOs are going extinct, by the way, because the way that they were getting funded has been getting cut off. That's why so many of them have been shut down.
really make a change if we can do anything about it.
Yeah.
Okay. Do I have? Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
there's no
running out of time.
USAID.
There's the trailer.
Okay, let's see the trailer.
We won't do the trailer.
No, not gonna do a trailer.
Wait, so you spent the entire time talking about how bad this was and just playing your propaganda,
Exactly.
but you're not going to play the trailer for your video game
That's
at a
what I just
video
said.
game convention? Are you fucking kidding me?
Okay, quit cussing. That's what I just
Oh
said.
my god.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry. It's hilarious. Okay, I'm done. That was it.
Wow.
These are QR code. Thank you.
Wow. Man.
We have to set up everything for the closing panel. So, Carla,
So you didn't even show the trailer. I don't even know what to say about something like this. It's so fucking ridiculous.
Hey, quit.
Oh my
Okay,
god.
So it seems like her presentation is done. So I'm let me move myself. Whoa, that's the wrong thing to move. Move me. All right, I go back down here. And or maybe I'll do this. Boop, 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 boop. There we go. All right, now I'm back in the right spot. All right, guys. And let me switch the camera. Hey, there I am. All right, so yeah, I mean, I don't really have anything else to add as far as my opinion on that. Like, it was just clear. I can see why. I can see why they pulled that talk from their channels, because it clearly was propaganda. It is 100% propaganda. That's why they took it off. And I had to watch it off of Asmongold's reaction. I had to react to Asmongold's reaction. Anyways, it's we're at time 11:30 before. Okay, right screen. There we go. Hey, all right. So before I end, let me get that off my head. I don't need that on my head anymore. This is still going. This is still a thing. Let me post this in the chat. Can I post this in the chat? Where's my chat? Okay, I can't do it on this, but I can do it over here. Let me post that there. All right, there we go. All right, so where are we at now? $3.99 for another 6 days, and sometime almost 7 days, and then it'll go up in price again. I'm not really too sure how long this will go, but if you want to check out Nexus Defenders, my game. Whoa, I show up on there with a crown, but that's on OBS, not on YouTube. On YouTube, I don't show up on the crown. Anyways, back to what I was saying. Nexus Defenders is my game, my first game. Tomorrow is my next game. But if you want to get my first game, Nexus Defenders, you can get it at the cheap price of $4, and you get 5 other games, 6 games total. That's less than $1 a game. This is probably like the cheapest it'll be. So this is a good opportunity to check it out. Also, beware. Whoops, nope, not my notion. Beware tomorrow. There we go. All right. Yeah. This is what I'm working on right now. So if you want to add this to your wish list, I'd really appreciate it. Let me copy and paste this into the chat. Oh, here's somebody saying somebody. Responsibilities are calling, so I gotta go. Oh, thank you for joining me, Wrangler. I appreciate it. God bless. Anyway, so that's basically it for this live stream. I appreciate you guys showing up. Nothing showed up on my recent events, so I couldn't test out to see if I can get a notification on the middle of the screen, and it doesn't look like I can get one of these individual chat things on the screen either, but I'm still trying to figure it out. So maybe next time I can get like an individual chat on the screen, or maybe I'll just get the whole chat on the screen next time. I'll see. I'm doing a little bit at a time, trying to figure it out, and I really appreciate you guys showing up to the stream. I can get back to editing today's video so I can publish it in the next couple hours. Anyways, thank you for joining me. Take care. Please hit the like button before you leave, and salam.